right, folks. Hey, what I would appreciate, I'm gonna kick off this meeting. Mark Miller is attending via my laptop, so please do not talk out of turn in the background because then he can't hear anything that's going on. So, Paula, we'll call the meeting to order here at 5:30. Paula, would you call the roll?
Yes. Mark Miller.
Present in the computer.
Chris Carlson.
Here.
And Paula Crook. We're all present.
All right. Can I get a motion to approve last month's minutes?
Make a motion.
Hey, Mark.
Second.
There we go. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we're gonna go over the budget real quick. We started with a balance of $489,858.89. We had receipts of $55.09. We had disbursements of $69,171.35 for a balance ending in $427.42.63. Again, nothing out of the ordinary on any of our expenditures for the month. We're doing miscellaneous projects, normal taxes and payrolls for everybody else, health insurance. Any questions from the board on the budget?
No.
No questions from Mark.
Motion to approve the budget.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Budget is approved. Every year at this time, we are subject to an audit, a third-party audit, and Vonda Breckheisen is here. She's performed from Knutson and Monroe. She has performed our audit for the last several years. So I'm going to turn the floor over to her to determine what our audit turned out this year. Vonda, floor is yours.
Okay, so this is a draft copy. We're waiting on a small piece of information from the bank in order to finalize. It won't change any of the numbers that are in the audit report, but that's why it's marked draft. Inside the bound copy, the first page is our governance letter. This is what we said we would do for you and what we did do for you. We didn't incur any difficulties in performing the audit. We have a couple of corrections that we propose, and that is reflecting gross wages rather than as net. And so that's the first entry, and then you voted in December and then did a resolution in January to move money back from special machinery to the road fund. And because the original action was taken in December, we recognized that transfer back as of December 31. So that's what the second one is. We didn't have any disagreements with management in order to do the audit. And as far as we are aware, there were not like a second opinion from another audit firm on any of the financial information. So that's that letter. Page 1 of the actual audit report is the independent auditor's report. Again, there's two opinions. There's an adverse because the audit is not done according to generally accepted accounting principles, GAAP. It's done according to the regulatory basis, KMAG, Kansas Municipal Audit and Accounting Guide, regulatory basis dictated by the state of Kansas. So according to the regulatory basis of accounting, the third paragraph states, in our opinion, the accompanying financial statement referred to above presents fairly in all material respects the aggregate cash and unencumbered cash balance of the township as of December 31, 2023. And that means a clean audit. Okay? And then it gives more information about the basis for the adverse and unmodified opinion. Then it goes into, as management, what your responsibilities are for this financial statement, what our responsibilities as your auditor is for this financial statement. And then it explains the supplementary information, which are the individual schedules that follow the report at the back. So then on page 4 is your actual financial statement, and it shows you your beginning unencumbered cash, which would balance out to the prior year audit, your ending unencumbered cash, And there is a decrease in that. And then your ending cash balance and how that amount ties to the money you have at the bank, whether it's in your checking or your savings account. And then on page 5 starts the notes, and these are the notes that are dictated by KMAG. And it just kind of explains what kind of entity you are, the regulatory basis of accounting, your budget process, and then stewardship, compliance, and accountability. There was one bond payment. The bond payments are supposed to be in the state office at least 20 days before they're due. And I think yours arrived on day 18 or 19. So that's noted in here. It's not a big deal, but we have to report it. The other thing is that until we get those reports from the state of Kansas, from the bank, we don't know if the bank had adequate coverage for your funds throughout the year. And we're talking basically for you guys from January through June. And as soon as I get those reports, it's confirmation that they had enough securities pledged to cover the balances over $250,000, the FDIC limit. So that won't affect any numbers here. It could add a sentence to the stewardship compliance note. I don't think it will, but I can't make that assumption. So.
Understood.
And then it talks about how you can hold the money that you have based on Kansas regulatory limits. And then your long-term debt, it talks about what your beginning balance was, your payments, and the end balance, and then it shows the next 4 years through payout. And then the interfund transfer, it shows that money being sent back to your road fund. And then the rest of them, talks about benefits that are given to the employees, no changes in those notes from the prior years. So page 10 is a summary of expenditures, and this shows what your certified budget was, what your budget authority, what you spent. The main column, and this that you want to look at is the last column, and those numbers are negative or there's a dash meaning 0. So there was no budget violation. And then on page 11 gives you more detail as to where the money came from for your individual funds, your general fund, your road fund, your bond and interest fund, and your special machinery fund. And then more detail as to how the money was spent. So your fund balance stayed the same for the general fund, increased a little bit in the road fund with that transfer back. Your special purpose fund, your special machinery decreased because there was the digital sign was paid out of there in 2023, and then the transfer out. And then your bond and interest fund balance stayed the same. And those were the things where I was talking about looking at the budget for 2025 on those. And then there is just a management letter, and again, we're just reminding you of we would really like to see payroll recorded at gross. Wouldn't be hard to do. Payables management, the invoices, the copies of invoices we get when we test this, your outside bookkeeper's there's nothing that shows us that it's being canceled. So, what are their processes to make sure that they're canceling that? Are they, even writing on there the check number or something? That's not a major issue, but it's just another safe internal control to make sure that's being done. And then just as management, we realize that you don't have the funds to pay somebody to put this together for you. That's why you hire us. But we feel like that you are capable of seeing if there's a mistake and catching it so that it doesn't compound. So that's a real quick run through. Any questions?
I don't have any.
I don't have.
Mark, any questions?
No questions.
Thank you, Vonda.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
So once we hear from the bank and we can finalize that note, then we will get you final copies, and you'll sign off on a management rep letter that basically says you gave us everything we asked for, that nothing was held back from us, and then we can get it filed with the state.
Okay.
But this will give you numbers for budget processes. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Vonda. We appreciate that. and I'll let you get back on the road.
All right, thank you.
If you have if you reach out to them again, copy me, mark it urgent, and I'll see if I can make some calls and help get that facilitated.
Well, hopefully,
Maybe we just need to call.
Maybe.
I've always dealt with that, Heather, on my phone too.
she didn't respond, but Liz did, and then forwarded it on, but then I never heard anything back from that other department.
Okay.
So,
All right.
well, maybe tomorrow's the day.
Maybe.
All right.
Maybe we call that department.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Wanda.
Thanks, Wanda.
Thanks, Fonda.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Alrighty, so we will, we'll go to the road overseer, report. So, currently, we still have not received our deposit, our second half deposit from the state, or from the county. So we have not started evaluating what will happen for projects for the second half of the year until we know our full deposit. In the past, we've had it between May 20th and June 1st. It is not here yet, at least not as of when he cut the balance sheet for me, which I think was Wednesday. So we haven't seen it yet. If it came in, he usually messages us. I didn't see anything on
He
the
did.
portal
He did.
today.
One day. Hang on,
Oh, wait a minute.
hang on.
I could be mistaken.
I think I saw that. You can go ahead with the meeting.
Okay,
Just
so,
let me catch up.
The projects that we do have slated, the sealing of the North Point Road that was done 3 years ago will be sealed.
That's the one we got. We got the two. That's the last one, I think.
That was in the last couple days?
Yeah, last couple of days, maybe
Good.
the last week.
Well, then it looks like I will start reviewing what we're going to do for the second half of the year because we now have our funds. So, perfect. I did not see that.
Yeah.
Can I keep these? Or do you need these?
We can keep them. I can pull off the,
make copies. Oh, yeah.
That'd be great.
That would be.
I can always pull off the email.
The projects we had slated are, so Andale is gonna do some sealing on the North Point Road to finish that off. And that, they said they'll probably start after July 4th. And then, the projects down south at Sunswept Highlands, they were actually supposed to start the last week of May. The weather pushed them out, so they're gonna send mailers out to everybody a week prior that it's coming, and I don't know if they've done it yet. I didn't talk to them today. So they're still behind on their other stuff. And then the one cul-de-sac, and I don't have it in front of me which one it is also on the APAC schedule. So, and they plan on doing all of those within a 2-week window, both the Sunswept Highlands and that one. So once they put the mailers out and start in one place, they'll put the mailers out for the next one and go there. So I'm anticipating all of that work to be completed before July 4th.
That's like 3 weeks away.
Yes,
That's great, okay.
that's what they're telling me. They haven't given me a reason to think otherwise. Thank you. And then before next meeting, I should have an understanding of what projects we're going to run for the rest of the year. I can go through our budget and determine what is left. So, any questions on the road overseer report?
No.
Mark?
No questions, nope.
Okay,
It's only board questions right now. I'll get you after a second. Motion to approve the road overseer's report.
Make a motion.
Mark,
Second,
all in favor?
aye.
Motion approved. Old business. I have not seen anything more on St. Cloud. I'm still tracking it. But I've nothing new on old business for that. Villas 2, nothing on that either. And then the sidewalk project in the Meadows still has flags and no construction. I don't know what's going on there. Paula, do you have any old business?
No.
Mark, do you have any old business?
I don't.
Okay, new business. Mark, any new business?
You're probably gonna mention it, but there's been a lot of surveying being done down in Springdale, and I think it has to do with 143rd or Kellogg, one of the two.
Yeah, I do have information on that.
You've got more intel on that, yep.
So for what Mark started to talk about, the KDOT expansion of Kellogg going east to Augusta, they're doing a ton of surveying, and the survey boundaries are way inside of the Springdale area. Approximately half the homes in Springdale are within the survey boundary now. There's 77 homes there. And one of those homes that's in the survey boundary is mine. So
That they may like get rid
they have the boundary goes that far in, and they're surveying everything to their boundary. No one's talked to me yet. It'd be awfully expensive for them if it does. That project though originally was slated to start construction August of 24. I found out from some of the contractors here in town that do road construction that the bid for it has been pushed to April of 25, which also means that by the time they run the bid process, award a contractor, get them mobilized, it's probably August of 25 before they would even break ground. So that is an update on, that's what I have on the KDOT thing. Mark, anything further to add?
Nope, that's it.
Paula, any new business?
No new business.
Okay, I have a little bit here. The budget deposit's here, so I guess I can cross it off my list. I talked about KDOT. The budget meeting for Minnehaha Township was supposed to be 6/24, and due to a conflict with our accountant, our CPA, the budget meeting is moved to July 10th at the county. Paula and myself are expected to attend along with the CPA that does our books. Mark is excused but may join via Teams or Zoom potentially.
Is that a Wednesday?
It is a Wednesday.
And what time?
It's the afternoon. It takes up the last half of the
1:30 or
day.
something, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's
1:30.
1:30, and then it's scheduled both the township and the improvement district are back to back.
Okay. Yeah, that should be fine. If I'm on duty, I'll just let somebody know that I'll be having a meeting. I'll probably go to my commander's office and do it.
Okay. Well, once I have more details, I'll see what I can coordinate. For new business, I think that is all. You guys didn't have anything new that we need to address at all? Okay. Do you guys, one of you guys, Mark, Paul, John, do you guys want to talk about what you're doing right now in the township?
Spraying for weeds and mowing right now.
Just so everybody's aware, with the Greater Wichita Open in town, I did inform Paul and John that they will be spending today, tomorrow, and Wednesday edging, mowing, trimming all that up. That tournament brings a lot of money to Wichita, brings a lot of people, also brings a lot of money to the township and the county. So we want it to look as good as we can for at least the time of this tournament. So that's where they are probably spending most of their time this week, and then the rest of the month they'll be doing what they do. So anything else we need to address, Paul?
No.
Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Make a motion.
Favor?
It's second.
Second, sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
The floor is open to public comment. Because the background noise makes it very difficult for Mark to hear, I would appreciate if you talk in turn and not talk over one another. And we did, and just as a reminder, we did make a motion several meetings ago. Public sentiment per topic is 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, you relinquish the floor to someone else. Thank you. Go ahead.
Are you still talking about paving Richfield, part of Richfield? I thought you told us that.
The overlay, yes.
Sometime,
It's coming this month.
oh, okay.
It's coming this month.
Well, I know with the rain and everything.
Yeah, they're behind. They were gonna do it the last week of May, and then they said that they're behind other projects. So Richfield, Crest, and what's that one with the mailbox where the ground Clay. Yeah, Clay. Those 3 streets are gonna get an overlay, asphalt overlay. And it should be done before July 1st, or before July 4th. unless they tell me otherwise. Next, Bill.
Two points.
Yep.
Could I get the address or website, whatever, for the audit regulations?
You mean this stuff we did today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that lays out the audit requirements other than GAAP.
Yeah, I'm sure we can make a public record. It shouldn't be hard.
Just so I know where to go.
Okay.
Secondly, my neighbor to the north is asking about water flow. It hits their culvert, and back when we had the ditch flow improvement, it kind of stopped right at their driveway, which is where
Give me an idea where we're talking. What street?
Richfield.
Richfield, okay.
You know where I live on Richfield?
Not off the top of my head.
Bel Air and Richfield.
Okay.
Okay. When they came and did the ditch clearing and flow,
Mhm.
they basically stopped right there at Bel Air, which is where their driveway is.
Okay.
So once it hits their culvert, it kind of backs up, flows over the yard and just below it. Their question is, anything in the plans to maybe continue that leveling of the ditch to keep the flow going?
We can. So we both guys are working on. There's been a couple requests to clean out some ditches down there.
All the way north on the curve there on Richfield. We're gonna be.
Well, you know where my house is, so the neighbor just north of me, and from them on down.
So,
it hadn't been dug out.
Yeah.
or
So
cleared.
I have two stipulations on it. I let the guys know they need to call DigSafe and get it marked. If there are any utilities in the ditch, they are to stop. And I'm gonna hire a different contractor that's insured for that type of work to go and clean the ditches out. Because we are not, as a township, we are not insured if we break a utility, do construction work, we don't carry that kind of insurance. And fiber optic lines can get expensive very, very quickly. And as you know, Bill, that Bel Air, there's a lot of shallow utilities down there by your place. And what's the guy, your neighbor across the street? Jack. There's a lot of shallow utilities there. So if DigSafe turns utilities up in the ditch, these guys are not going to dig it out. We will hire a third-party contractor to come dig them out.
Well, just for your
So-
information, the gas company came in about 4 weeks ago, and they signed it, and then they dug under the road to get to the neighbor. And so I know there's somewhere in there are some gas lines that go
Yeah,
under the ditch. And
we are
across the
not
street.
insured to work around utilities at all. That requires a different
Just a
type.
heads
So
up.
we'll have it marked with DigSafe and look and see what we can do to help them out.
I'll call Big C. Get it.
Yeah,
Appreciate
go ahead and get a locate on their place and we'll see what happens.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything?
I thought you said somebody wanted the culvert cleaned out.
Oh, the one to the south of me, but we can work that out with this tire thing, see what we can do.
Okay. That works. Any other questions, comments, concerns?
I don't have any questions, I just came to get an update, I'm excited for the cul-de-sac work.
Yeah,
Appreciate you guys doing that,
the last thing I knew, it should be completed by July 4th.
just on the first one.
Yeah, on the first one, yes.
The
But
rest
now
will-
that we have a budget, which I got offline, so I didn't see it today, so.
I think it came in late last week, maybe?
Did it?
That's on this year, around
Okay,
that one.
okay.
That's amazing.
So now I was getting a little worried because it was later than I anticipated. So,
I ain't heard back from that plumber yet, Chris.
oh yeah,
That'll
good
be a
point.
big issue, I think.
I think it
because
will
it's
too.
further What they thought it was going to be.
So, the county has gotten involved in a drainage issue in the meadows. There is an easement, there's a utility easement that was platted, whatever, with a drain in there that actually drains to Crestview, but there's still a public easement till it gets to Crestview's property line. So, and I'm talking about Crestview Country Club. I have had the director of public works email me numerous times regarding it, sent many pictures, sent the plat. These guys went out took a look at it to see if they could see anything in there that we could clean out ourselves, and it didn't look like, I guess, that we could get it done. Is that correct?
Right.
So we have engaged a plumber to come out, look at it, and see what they can do to maybe jet the line, and see if we can blow a hole in it or camera it and find out what we've got going on. If it's a problem inside the easement, we'll as a board, we'll address how we want to handle it when we get the cost. That could potentially affect what we do the rest of the year if that's a high dollar fix. If the problem is on Crestview's property, is we can't do anything with it once it hits the property line. So, yeah, thank you for reminding me, guys. I forgot about that.
Where is that specifically? Because there's 3 or 4 drainage.
Do you remember? I
issues
don't
in-
which street was that? Wakanda, yeah.
So it is.
So most of those drainage issues are on private property. This one actually has a utility easement platted.
Okay, do you know if
'Cause there's-
Kristen's the new president of AHOA, have you been in contact with her to let her know you're talking to this?
No, man.
Okay, all right, I'll let her know, because I think they were looking at an email she sent. We're
There-
working with contractors to stake the drains on Wakanda and Brookline.
So we need to coordinate then and find out what's going on because somebody who had authority called the county.
Who had authority?
That's what I was told. Someone with authority. Let me see if I can find
Is
your name.
Wakanda the same one that,
It was a man. It was not a woman's name.
okay. All right, I'll see what I can find out, but regardless, whoever it is, if that was someone on our board, they need to be talking to you, coordinating, because it makes no sense for us both to be paying someone to go out there. and look.
Well, they should be coordinating with these guys. These guys are the voice. These are the public face of the township.
Otherwise, we'll stop the plumber from going out there.
Right, I
That's
mean,
gonna cost a fortune.
we'd love you to pay for it in my mind, instead of, we don't have the money,
Yeah.
so. But
Well,
regardless. it needs
I'm
to
not
be-
100% sure we have the money to pin the problem. There is, but that is a utility easement, so it's not only the storm drain that goes in that easement. There's probably electrical, there's probably data, there could be gas. I don't know all the utilities because the plat is so old, it doesn't have them all marked.
Okay, so if it's Wakanda, they need to be reaching, okay, all right,
They need to call the shop and talk to these two,
ASAP, okay, got it.
find out what's going on. And if they have a plumber, I mean, that's giving them an estimate, we'd love to get a copy of that estimate.
Okay,
We need to find out, we need to understand what's going on with it.
okay.
I mean, it could be a fact that it's just 30, 40, 50 years old. It's just done. I don't know. So,
I will let her know.
all right. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? Everybody good? All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming.